Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit TV series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, great to be here, Seth. Looking forward to our session today.
Yes, we've got a very special guest, Brien Gearin from Millionaire University, where they help millions of entrepreneurs make more money in less time. Brien, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, Seth and Kevin, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's go back in time a little bit. How did Millionaire University get started?
So Millionaire University, we've been around just over 2 years, and it's the original brainchild of Justin and Tara Williams. So they are a wildly successful couple out of San Diego who started in the real estate business. Started from scratch. Justin was selling satellite dishes door to door, and then eventually worked their way up into flipping 100 homes in California, selling their systems and processes. And after that business concluded, they sold that. They had a 17-year-old son, and they were saying, you know what? I think we ruined college for him. He doesn't want to go to college, but there's got to be a school for entrepreneurs. There's got to be a place where he can go learn from other entrepreneurs, in their case, maybe not directly from his own parents, but have a collaboration in a university setting where it's entrepreneurs that are teaching the next generation of entrepreneurs how to actually start and grow a business. And that's when Millionaire University was born. So we intend to be a alternative education source for the next generation of entrepreneurs, and also reflecting on the fact that higher education in this country is broken. I'm one of those people who was growing up, I was told, you're going to college. That's just what you do. But I had no game plan. So when I first found Millionaire University, now I'm a host on the podcast there. I'm a partner in the business. I'm also, 8 years in entrepreneurship with a digital marketing agency. But man, Millionaire University is something where we believe anybody can open, start, and grow a business and be successful. It's just a matter of who you learn from, how you do it, and, the mindset that you acquire there. So, Millionaire University is just an incredible place to be working with, and we're having a lot of fun teaching the next generations of entrepreneurs.
Is this a virtual business, or are there classrooms that exist also?
So virtual business right now, we actually, our main driver is our media. So our podcast, we're reaching about 500,000 active listeners every month, and we're featuring awesome entrepreneurs who have either done the thing, are doing the thing, and are willing to teach their actionable advice and provide inspiration to our listeners who are typically aspiring or early stage entrepreneurs. We launched our first program, online program, back in October. It's called the Build My Money Machine. And it starts all at the base level of becoming, setting the mindset for becoming a successful business owner and eventually becoming a successful 7-figure personality. So we're digital right now, but our big, hairy, audacious goal is that someday we're in physical locations across the country where we have entrepreneur collaborators who are, quote unquote, the professors that are teaching in all different modes of entrepreneurship and helping people reach their goals in the mode that they want to.
500,000 downloads on the listeners on the podcast every month is an awesome accomplishment. How did you grow so fast?
Yeah, so it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, especially with Justin and Tara, and a lot of investment. They've invested upwards of $500,000 to date in the business, and fortunately, we have a flywheel going now where everything is covered. Our marketing It's all on a flywheel. We're profitable. So getting it off the ground was no easy task. And when I first met Justin, he had actually heard me on a different podcast and asked if I'd come on and talk about, kind of teach about how to start and grow a digital marketing agency. And that was back in episode 29, I believe, so a few years ago. And just hearing the goals of what they had in mind for Millionaire University were big, hairy, and audacious. But I could tell with Justin and Tara that they had the mindset to get there and the determination. And 2 years into this thing, having the podcast where we're at and having the sponsorships, having the ability to, build our flywheel, our marketing flywheel off of the back of the podcast has been incredible to watch. And it's really cool to be a part of.
Are there any kind of businesses that are more geared towards the platform, like digital kind of businesses versus retail stores or whatever, or does everybody gain benefit from the website?
So everybody gains benefit right now. If a niche finds us as we move forward, if we were to focus more on digital, or if we're focused more on service-based businesses, we'll address that when we get there. But right now, especially our foundational program, it's all about building the mindset. And we believe this is the mindset that regardless of the niche you're in, regardless of the business that you want to start or that you have started, you need to have this mindset and the pillars that we teach in order to, build that business and start it. You guys know better than anyone that starting a business, especially if you haven't done it before, is probably one of the most intimidating things you can undertake. And if you don't have a little bit of coaching on the mindset that it takes and the ability to put yourself in the place that will allow you to take that next step, however small it might be, that's where we're starting out. So right now, whether you want to start a lawn care business or a digital agency or an AI agency, whatever it might be, we believe the mindset that we teach in our program is the place to start. And from there, building a business isn't wildly different comparatively when you're at the base level.
Nice.
You mentioned the marketing flywheel. How are you bringing students into Millionaire University now?
So right now our main media is our podcast. So that is how we get the word out. And as you know, with 500,000 monthly downloads, that is our main source. And right now, one of the cool things we do is we rely a lot on our guests for bringing the noise and bringing the knowledge that they impart on our guests or on our listeners. But we love to promote our episodes in what's known as a feed drop, where we invest in the dropping of our episode with our guests on a different feed in a parallel niche, or in a parallel. So like in the entrepreneurship space. So we gain a lot of downloads, which is a win-win for both ourselves and our guests, where we gain a lot of downloads and hopefully lifetime listeners. And then our guests get more exposure for the investments. So that's one of our biggest drivers right now. We also have our email list. We've in the past, when we were kind of more in the very beginning startup mode, we relied on Facebook ads. But right now, the flywheel is super powered through the podcast.
How do people pay to get involved? Are there different levels of access?
So right now, the Build My Money Machine, we're running our special. It's $197 to get in. That's about 90% off of what the retailer, what the price will become. So we want it to be accessible to everybody, right? If even for those who feel like they might not have 2 shekels to rub together, if you compare together $197, gain access to Build My Money Machine, we can help you build the groundwork for that millionaire mindset.
Nice.
Are Justin and Tara the only professors, so to speak, or have you guys branched out to allow other people to provide content to your audience?
So right now it's Justin and Tara. They're driving the machine on our foundational program. We have all sorts of ideas for how we want to expand and how we want to build and give greater impact to our members. But any of those ideas you mentioned are definitely on the table for us. And the cool thing about our podcast, Kevin and Seth, is that we get to meet so many awesome entrepreneurs who are also willing to teach, or who are wanting to have a greater impact on the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we're kind of building a list of our own, if you will, on the side of folks that we think maybe put some feelers out there who might want to be a part of Millionaire University moving forward. And you guys know that there's so many, you guys included, so many awesome entrepreneurs out there who have so much to share. And then, we're trying to find the right people who want to be able to share it with us and with our audience and our students.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about some content. We create a lot of content in the space of entrepreneurship, so it'd be interesting to potentially explore that. But I think I'm very interested to find out the kind of the success levels you're having, and any kind of stories of people that started from scratch and now they're off and running type of thing.
Yeah, so we're still in the throes of getting our first people through our foundational program, but we do have there's a father and son who went through the program, and they're I think they were in don't quote me, I want to say they were in real estate, but one of their one of their feelings towards us was the fact that when they joined the program, they were able to get in the mindset that previously they were in one of fear, right? They were one where they didn't know if this was right for them. There was so many, ifs, ands, and buts. And I think the big message that we were able to help them break through was the fact that it's now or never. You guys have what you need, whether you believe it or not. In worst case scenario, you have a team at Millionaire University who you can rely on whenever you encounter questions, whenever you encounter trials and tribulations. You can rely on us. And I believe to date they've gotten their business off the ground, and they're kind of 10 years ahead of where they would have been if they hadn't joined our program.
It sounds like, if I heard you right, you took the course yourself and then liked it so much you went to work and bought into and became part of the company. Is that correct?
So actually, I've been a part of this for a year and a half now, well before we even had our foundational course produced. So I met Justin through being a guest on his podcast. He and I got along really well. We stayed in contact for 2 or 3 months after that. And it got to the point where Justin's like, hey, I feel like there's something here. We'd really love to have you, help us out with our marketing. That's a weakness of ours, that we want to have somebody who's much more knowledgeable and help us out in that. And he said, also, I'd love to have someone help me host the podcast. Would you like to do that as well? And I said, sure. I've done the marketing. That's my thing, but podcast hosting, I don't know about that. But I'm willing to give it a shot. And here we are a year and a half later, and I've probably hosted coming up on 50, maybe 80 different episodes here. And that's how he and I got in business together. And the foundational course was something that was always part of the plan. And we finally got it together and launched it towards the end of last year.
Well, 80 some episodes, 500,000 downloads, plus a sizable email list. You're doing something right.
Yeah. And we're up to just over 200 total episodes right now. So it's, it's moving right along. And man, you guys know this as podcast hosts. It is a ton of fun. Can't get over it.
Absolutely. What do you like best about what you're doing?
So for me, being the host of the podcast, one of the hosts on the podcast, is getting to meet so many different entrepreneurs that I otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet. There's some incredible people out there doing awesome things in the entrepreneur space, and they're just generally good people. But also being able to bring these people out to a much larger audience. For me, that's a lot of fun because part of my business, there's a lot of giving involved, and I love having the ability to share with a lot of other people and bring the knowledge and information and the kindness of so many entrepreneurs to so many listeners. So for me, those are the two most rewarding things. But also, as you may be able to glean, I'm a chatty Cathy, so I like talking too. So any chance I get, I'm happy to meet people and listen and get to chat with them.
So what is the next step for you guys? And before answering that, I've been thinking about this the whole time. Are you doing anything in the world of AI?
So yeah, next steps for us, we're going to continue building out our program. So that's in process right now. We wanted to get our first cohort through the first foundational program, which is still in process right now. So we're in the middle of building out what's next in terms of the program. And then in terms of AI, We're staying on top of things with AI. We use AI to probably right now the most useful for us is in our production of the podcast. Whether it's using, helping us build out our transcripts, helping us build out our content. AI is definitely has a place in our business for helping us do things a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker. And being able to do it at a larger scale. I think we're dropping 3 episodes a week. I think we're bumping it up to 5. It would be a lot harder, probably a little bit more expensive for us if we did not employ some of the AI features that we do. But man, moving forward, AI, it's the Wild West, right? So there might be a cool thing that comes out tomorrow where Justin's like, hey, check this out. This is going to help us do X, Y, Z, and we're going to explore it. So we're definitely very open-minded. We're keeping our thumb on the pulse of the AI as it continues to improve and get better and allow us to have a deeper impact. So yeah, that's a very exciting part of the entrepreneur space as well.
Super.
You talked about the public education system. Any thoughts on trying to get some of your content into that platform?
Well, we've talked about it a little bit. We're trying to keep our eye on the prize and keep moving one step at a time, but it's hard to not, focus out and kind of, maybe go meta on it and look at that where, the public education system itself outside of universities are, we have our opinions on it, but it's got its problems. And if we could have some sort of impact at the public level, I don't know how or if that's possible, but I think so many students, whether it's elementary school up through high school, if there is some element of entrepreneurship in some sort of course, some sort of class, I remember when I was a kid in 6th grade, we had a thing called Mini Society, and you had to like create a little product. And on, Tuesday afternoons for 3 weeks, we got to sell them to our fellow students. We had monopoly money, yada, yada. Stuff like that, even at the smallest level, just gets the gears going for kids and for, adolescents when it comes to entrepreneurship. But man, I think there's such a massive mindset shift that needs to happen at the younger ages that I wish was in play when I was a kid. Maybe I'd have been an entrepreneur a lot sooner. But we don't know. We'd like to keep our eyes and ears open. And if there's ever an opportunity to have some sort of impact on the public school level, we would love to do that.
Hey, I'll mention one thing. I have my own foundation, the Harrington Foundation, 501c3. I just taken over the entrepreneurship hub at Junior Achievement here in Tampa, and we're putting 20-some thousand high school students through an entrepreneurship program as part of what I'm doing. And I'm just thinking there may be some interesting concepts here that we could discuss. So Seth, on 2 levels, number one, the JA opportunity, as well as other things that we're doing. I'd love to connect with Brien separate from our podcast here today and see if we can get connected on some interesting opportunities.
Absolutely. I will be happy to make that happen. Brien, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our viewers and our listeners, where is the best place for them to go to learn more about you and all the cool things you're doing?
Yeah, so check us out at millionaireuniversity.com. You can also check out our foundational program. The doors are still open, buildmymoneymachine.com. And if you want to reach me directly, the best way is to probably hit me up on LinkedIn. So just search my name, Brien Gearin. You'll find me on there. I post content regularly, and I'm in there just about every day, every other day. So
awesome.
I'd love to connect with any of your listeners out there.
Awesome. And before we go, since it's in the background, I got to ask, tell me about the baseball bats and the picture and the jersey behind you.
Yeah. So I'm a Cincinnati guy. So I've got my Joey Votto autographed photo from his MVP season. I've got some of my bats from my playing days. I got the big red machine over my right shoulder here. I've got my my old football jersey from when I was a kid. My mom framed it, and she, people are like, "Hey, where did you play in college, or did you play for the Packers?" I'm like, No, that's just my 6th grade football jersey. But so I've got all my sports memorabilia, and then I've got my my grandfather's old 48-star flag that he had during World War II. So
hey, are you from Cincinnati?
I am. Yep.
I'm born and raised, lived there a long time, many years back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Grew up in Mount Lookout, went to Purcell High School, and Cardinal Pacelli Grade School, University of Cincinnati.
Oh, no way.
Great town. I'm back there all the time. I'm got my 50th high school reunion coming up in next month, actually.
Wow.
Or it might be March. So great town.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. That's very cool.
Are the rest of your guys based there or just you?
So I'm based here. Justin and Tara are based in San Diego, and we have a couple other folks on our team, I believe, based in Utah right now. So
okay, great.
We're all remote, but in my digital business, most of my team is all based here in Cincinnati.
Okay, cool. All right. Listen, look forward to connecting.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a pleasure.
Thanks,
Thanks
Brien.
everybody for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
See ya. Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.